It's another edition of Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. Robin Whitten, the founder of AudioFile, is our pilot this week. I'm Joe Reed. Hello, Robin.
Hello, Joe.
And what are you suggesting today?
That little pilot reference was, of course, because we've just gotten off the airplane from the business trip.
From yesterday's book,
Right. But
yes.
we're doing something quite different today. I would really love to talk about Maggie Smith's new book, Dear Writer. This is Maggie Smith, the poet,
Mhm.
not the British actress. Dear Writer is pep talks and practical advice for the creative life from Maggie Smith.
Interesting. She wrote a memoir, You Could Make This Place Beautiful, and that really looked at the end of her marriage and her starting over. So she's written that as well as poetry, and now here's a new form of writing as well, different, essays. So how is this group together?
Well, I really love the way she put this collection together because she truly is talking about writing of any kind, writing poetry, and also about any kind of creativity, which is why I love the way she organized this. She talks about 10 essential elements of writing and creativity, extended to creativity, which include attention, wonder, play, vulnerability, restlessness, connection. There are 10 of them. And she organizes this program around those 10 topics. And she goes through each one. She explains her thoughts about them. She uses examples. She uses examples of her own poetry. And also, there is quite an extensive PDF, which is included with the audiobook. And she's going back and forth referencing that quite often.
Now, here's the question. How is she as a narrator? How does this come across as an audiobook?
So I really enjoyed this. Maggie Smith has a very specific vocal style and pace, and it's a cadence really that I is sort of a poet's voice,
Yeah,
which she uses when she reads a lot her own poetry, which she does a lot. But I think that sometimes it gets in the way of her narrative because this is not all her poetry. She's written this wonderful dialogue about the creative life. And I think she sometimes starts a paragraph in the cadence of the poet voice. And then when she relaxes, it flows, what she's trying to say flows much more smoothly.
I think reading essays, I think it's very, very hard to do.
But I really loved listening to it. I rather liked it because it was herself as a poet just kept coming out through
Mm.
her narration.
Well, why don't we hear a little? Do you need to set this up?
So in this section, she is talking about attention, the topic attention. And here's a little example of how she discusses that topic.
This is an excerpt from Dear Writer, and it's written and read by Maggie Smith.
This essential part of creativity requires no pen, no paper, no paints, no canvas, no nothing. Only your awareness. Your hands can be empty, but your mind should be open. If you love the world, give it the gift of your attention. And if you don't love the world, I wonder, why are you making art? I can't think of anything more important for a writer or artist than to be a sensitive, finely tuned instrument in the world. In the words of the photographer Walker Evans, stare, pry, listen, eavesdrop, die knowing something. You are not here long. Keep your antenna raised. We need you to be all in.
That is a remarkable thing to say, die knowing
Isn't
something.
that great?
Stunning, stunning. She is such a strong writer. I've always liked her work. A really strong writer, a stronger writer than narrator, obviously.
Yes, possibly. I've never I mean, this does make me want to go and find a copy of the printed version, and I would love to have a conversation
Mm.
in a group about these different topics with other writers and creative people. I mean,
Yeah, that sounds like a great I mean, it sounds like a kind of perfect book for it.
really, I would think because, she's giving a point of view, you react to her point of view, whether she's talking about attention or hope or vulnerability, all these different topics that she's got, and then but hearing how other people react to that same thing, I mean, it just really encourages dialogue in the nicest way.
Yeah, which is lovely. I'm all for that. That is Dear Writer, Pep Talks and Practical Advice for the Creative Life. It's written and read by Maggie Smith. Robin, thank you so much.
This was an interesting diversion in the middle of the week.
I will talk to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Dreamscape is the sponsor of today's episode of Behind the Mic. Dreamscape publishes audiobooks from authors like Frida McFadden, Kirsten Proby, and Katie Robert. Explore their full catalog at dreamscapepublishing.com. Don't forget to follow Behind the Mic wherever you get your podcasts, and then leave us a rating because it does help people to find us. I'm Joe Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.